Southeast. I have three issues here tonight that are on the agenda. The first item would be the Historic Preservation Committee. I really would appreciate the fact that tonight you're going to spend over $4 million on another museum of Meredith Willson, who really nobody under 40 really cares about. I would like you to see this commission look at the Art Deco fire barn, the old fire barn down on South Federal. There was a time when they wanted to turn that into a museum, the police and fire, and my family donated some items to the police department, and it would be way more interesting and a bigger draw than Music Man Square's thing. Second thing, candidates tonight. You're going to be dealing with the candidates tonight. I've done a good search on them, read them. I hope most citizens have. Talked to some people, and there might be a couple there that are, when I was on a council that we threw the project out and started over. And I think that should be an option for you tonight. And if Councilman Lee is not going to be involved in the discussions tonight, maybe he is. I'm kind of worried about it tonight. So I think maybe I'd like to have all representation there tonight talking about it, at least if you're going to make a decision. Thirdly, I want to talk about the River City Renaissance. That's part of your bonding tonight. Included in the bonding tonight is the River City Renaissance project at a cost of over $25 million, funded by 4 different sources, funding sources. At least that's what the community thought. Just after the city's election this fall, where with fewer than 30% of the voter approval, the truth came out that there was a 5th funding source, and it would be involved would be the debt service levy. You know, the one that raises your property taxes and pays off the bonds. For over 3 years, we were told no new taxes, no tax increase, no citizen involvement by the City Council staff, Chamber President Robin Anderson, the Yes Group headed up by Lonnie Dirksen, John Prebeck, council members' wives, all over social media, John Skipper in the Globe, Bobby Fisher in the radio, Darlena Bars, Liz Allison, the May City Foundation, and over and over and over, it was like we were brainwashed. Well, we finally see the truth, and it appears in your council packet tonight. First time in print. I feel like the election was rigged, cover-up, misled, maybe just lied to. Here are some red flags that showed up that there was no discussion. There was no discussion on any of this stuff. It's all moving forward. We had to do it. You came off of Prestige. You felt like you had to do something big, stand up. You had to, and that's just not good to do. You know what I mean? That's your ego getting in the way, and you're being pushed by, of course, the one player, the Pied Piper, Robin Anderson. Here's some red flags that do show up. The museum. We already have 3 museums in the community. We have Kenny Pioneer, we have our McNider Art Museum, fantastic museum. We don't need a standalone Meredith Willson museum in that parking lot over there with that goofy skywalk, the bridge to nowhere. And believe me, it'll go to nowhere. 2, we got a $12.1 million hockey rink that seriously only impacts 2,400 people in a county of 45,000. That's the 400 users and the 2,000 people that are interested in hockey. 12.1 million. For the 4 months that the rink will be available to do the big events that you promised us, that you said would be entertainment and everything coming in. Well, during that 4 months, that 120 days to 150 days, are 200 events that already exist in the surf, Nyack, Clear Lake, the casino, Friday Night Live, all kinds of venues that go on. They're already taken up. I don't know when you're going to fit anything in. I really don't. And the $1.1 million pavilion. We were told this summer that 3,500 plus people showed up at Friday Night Lives 2 or 3 times. I don't know about that, but I will say this. If you put the pavilion in front of the north side of South Bridge, you can only fit 300 people comfortably in the plaza. What, the rest of us are going to stand down? The other 3,000 people are going to stand down to ransoms and listen? Or is it going to be embarrassingly the truth? You're going to pull out the stage again after you built a $1.1 million pavilion inside and out of the mall. You're going to pull out that stage and have it back in the park again. Huge waste of money. Then you're only going to use it for 8 venue purposes, and that's the concerts that they have in the summer. 4, the biggest bump in the road ahead is Mike Cohan. Nobody that I know of from City Hall, nobody, has talked to Mike Cohan yet. I've tried. It's really almost impossible. I understand Robin Anderson made a phone call to him. But I want to say, if the guy can't come up with $230,000 that John Skipper in an article or the Globe promised us that he would last week, and he didn't pay it, how's he going to come up with a $500,000 that he has to come up to make this thing work, to get the revenue, to get the $9 million, 9.1 from the state?
Thank you, Max.
And also, I just want to finish, Mayor. I got 10 seconds left, please. There's nobody else here,
You're over
Mayor.
by-
I have 3 sentences. Don't do a bookmark on me. Last week, and nobody at City Hall's talked to him, and if he can't make that payment, how's he going to come up with the $500,000 a year that it takes to make this thing work? And how's he going to come up with the $2 million investment for heat back, the roof, the inside of the mall, to get that thing back to life, that brick and mortar back to life, updating the plumbing and electrical? Please, tonight, you can pull this off the council agenda, and I'll be more than happy to sit down with you and talk about Plan B, where we can get everything we want for less than $2 million. Thank you.
Sir. Anyone else for the public forum part of the council meeting?